Hello, Dr. Cinema here. So, at the time I'm recording this, it was only earlier this week that Blumhouse, through Netflix, released the surprise film Mercy Black. Now, despite the fact that this apparently came out on March 31st, I still thought this was kind of like an April Fool's joke. So I waited until April 2nd, and lo and behold, Blumhouse released a surprise film. So, obviously, not a lot of people have even heard of this film yet, so brief breakdown. The film takes place, I guess technically in current day, but 15 years prior to the events of the film. Two girls stabbed and apparently killed a fellow classmate as an offering to a character that the two girls made of themselves called Mercy Black, who promises to give sad children and who promises to take away the pain of sad children in exchange for a promise or something. A promise, basically, of giving her something from another person to help her become flesh and blood. Now, the two girls that did this end up going to a mental institute, separate ones, I believe. And the main character is Marina, and she comes back home 15 years later, and at the beginning, she believes that everything that they did was due to a mental sickness and that she was wrong about Mercy Black. And of course, she returns home to her sister and Marina's nephew. And of course, Mercy Black has become sort of a celebrity because of the internet, through memes and other people doing similar things because of Mercy Black. Now, there are obviously details about this story and a couple of twists at the end of the movie that I'm going to avoid because not a lot of people have even heard of this film, let alone seen it yet, so I want to stay away from spoilers. But as you can probably tell from the plot, this is inspired sort of by real life events in a way. As we all know, back in 2014, two girls from Wisconsin ended up attacking and trying to sacrifice another classmate to Slender Man. Slender Man, of course, being popular because of the internet. So, obviously, Mercy Black takes some inspiration and cues from that real life story. However, there is something that's a little bit interesting about this version, because Mercy Black was not created by the internet, it was created by a couple of kids in this small town that were feeling sad and needed, something to make them feel better. She didn't become famous until after the incident, when the internet started to become a big thing. So seeing something become famous because the internet has explored and slash exploited this is a very real thing that honestly has happened a few times in real life as well. So this movie does bring up several interesting ideas and questions, like because of the internet, we now have access to all of this information. But then people start to basically make up their own stories, purposely leaving some mystery in there because knowing the mystery takes away some of the intrigue. But of course, then there comes the question of how can you tell when a certain story is real or fake? And of course, there is the influence of the internet, that it has on the horror genre, creating this sort of subgenre of like internet-based creepy horror stories, thanks to sites such as creepypasta and characters such as Slenderman. It has given rise to the sort of new subgenre for horror. And of course, there's even let's talk about Mercy Black herself, because again, there's a couple of twists in this film regarding the Mercy Black character herself, so I'm going to stay away from spoilers. But here's ultimately the thing. It doesn't really matter if Mercy Black is an actual real supernatural thing that somehow managed to get these two girls to sort of help her give her life in the way, or if she was just always this sort of fake thing. Because as long as people believe in her, she's, in a sense, very much real and can cause a lot of damage to other people's lives. Which, again, is a very interesting concept. This film actually does have several interesting ideas and questions that do relate to internet horror and the relationship between the two. But of course, the actual execution in the film. Well, to figure out how well they did it, let's ask Quachi. Well put. The execution is fine. Personally, when I first watched this film, I just thought, okay, it's fine. It's a fine film. But there are a few things I do have to give it credit for in terms of actually bringing up these ideas and for the couple of twists and a couple small things that's done act really well. But of course, I think this movie could actually expand a lot if it was given a longer running time. It comes in under 90 minutes. And there are a couple characters that could have been improved, and one else is a complete douchebag that I think either could be cut out or could be completely rewritten so that it's at least likable in a certain sense. So while I don't think this film's going to gain a lot of attention, I can easily see this becoming a sort of small cult classic. But on the other hand, I can see why Blumhouse releases direct to Netflix instead of giving it a theatrical release. But I think they can still attack these ideas and questions in a different movie by giving it a longer running time, a little bit of a bigger budget, and actually let the writers and characters actually explore these ideas and questions more in depth. I think they can do this really well in a new film. Mercy Black is a fine film that has all these questions and ideas brought up, but in certain ways, it never really follows through on most of them. So, Mercy Black, I think, is worth the watch. So, go on Netflix and watch it. That's all I have to say right now. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time.